Let's go. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a great episode today. We have a wonderful host with us. She's been a host several times with us. Kathy, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you today? Good to
I'm
see
doing very
everybody.
well. Thank
Good.
you. Thank you. Very busy today. Last week, we were supposed to have all these wonderful people on the show, but we were having some technical difficulties with links and whatnot. And so we had this amazing, fun time to get to know each other in like a test run, and it went very well. I had a blast. I almost had too much fun. I'm like, why am I having this much fun on a test? It was so much fun. It was great. It was great.
Love it.
It was awesome. So we have Gary, we have Michael, we have wonderful Anthony, and we have Becky. We're gonna have a great time today. Kathy's gonna ask you guys great questions. Be yourselves. Be nervous. Tell us all the good, the bad. What's going on with Pace right now? Pace was in the office yesterday, running around with a cool T-shirt on. In fact, he walked by several of us. We had no idea who the man was, and he was trying to be inconspicuous, and he succeeded. But I believe he's flying back to Montana. We had a meet and greet recently here in Scottsdale, and it went very, very well. But enough of my talking. We're a minute and 12 seconds in. I let you guys dance with it. Kathy, I'll be in the back. You guys have a good
All
one.
right. Thanks. Well, hello, everybody. It's great to meet you. This is, we're like a great five pack here. My name is Kathy Craig. I'm in Gator Elite. I've been in the community for over a year. I, like you guys, I'm a serial entrepreneur, but my day job is I'm the executive director of a nonprofit in Southern California. And I'm one of the co-leaders of the Ventura County JV group. So enough about me. Before we start, I do want to thank the Pace Morby media team, Taya and Derek. You guys all just do amazing work. So thank you guys. So wow, we have some great faces today. So let's kind of get a little history, where you guys came from, which part of the community are you involved? Subto, Gator. And let's hear about some amazing deals that you guys have done. So Becky, we're going to start with you.
Background or the deal? Straight to the deal.
Going straight to who you are, how you got here, all the fun stuff.
Sure. Becky Todd, based out of Austin, been in Subto for a year and a half. I've about 15 years of real estate experience with an operator proven track record of successful investments and profitable deals. Mostly I've done land to new construction and one rehab in the USA and Bali, Indonesia. So I have 13 years of Airbnb experience, Superhost. I'm early adopter of Pad Split. I received like Booking.com Traveler's Choice Award. I pretty much build eco-friendly villas in Bali. But for the current of this project, I linked up with Anthony for my first Gator PML deal for a fix and flip. So I'm moving my skills into a different direction, and happy to be here.
That's fantastic. I confess you kind of had me at Bali. I mean, right now my brain is, I'm going to Bali. Well, welcome. That's congrats. And Anthony, the partner in crime with this, let's hear it.
Hey, awesome. Thank you, Kathy. So Anthony Clinkscales, my background is real estate. I've been in real estate for a little over 20 years. The traditional way, I mean, I had no clue about this private money thing and hard money thing, just doing real estate the traditional way, banks and borrowing money. But, to Gator, I'm in the Gator program, and it really intrigued me so much. Prior to Gator, though, and Pace Morby, I invested in two other real estate deals that did not work out for me. I spent a bunch of money, didn't work out for me. It wasn't the right fit for me, should I say. But when I got into Gator, it was like the perfect fit for me. And it kind of rejuvenated me to do things, differently, and just gave me some motivation. And then, ended up meeting Becky, doing her first private money loan, finding her the money for that. My avatar is Connector in the Gator tribe. And, she was, looking for some private money, and we were able to get that connected and get that funded for her. I've now since I've been in Gator, I've done 8 deals in the past 5 months since I've been in Gator.
Love it. Congrats. Well, welcome. I love that. And I'm with you. This community, inspires and reinvigorates me every single day for sure. All right, Michael, what do you think? Tell us about you.
Hi. Well, I've been a general contractor for quite a while. I've done a lot of custom home building. I've done a few flips, not very successful yet, but I'm planning on doing a few more. I met Gary through Molly's TC course. We were both in there learning about, well, Gary already kind of knows it more than everybody, but he was very helpful to, I was very impressed with working with him, listening to his knowledge. And so I gave him a call one day and I told him I was looking for a new primary residence because I had sold the previous primary that I had 2 years ago, just kind of sitting on the sidelines. And he showed me a few properties. We made a few offers, and we experienced what a lot of Subto people go through with negative comments and negative feelings about subject to. And it was very frustrating at first, but then, we found a deal. Gary found it. And I'd like to let him tell you about it because that's actually a personal friend of his that was the previous owner. So
That'd be great. We'd love to hear it.
Go ahead, Gary.
Let's hear Gary.
Hey, I'm Gary Chefetz. I've been part of Subto since 4 years now. And so almost the very beginning, but
almost the OG, one of the originals. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I was there to watch the first 100, 200 people join. Now we're looking at 14,000 people.
Yeah.
I did my first creative finance deal back in the early 80s. However, at the time, I thought it was just desperation financing. I later found out that I was being creative, but I don't know. Desperation leads to creativity, right?
It does.
Right. So I've dabbled in real estate most of my life, and mostly doing flips. I love doing multi-unit mixed use.
Mm.
That was a passion for a while. And I, after joining Paces, I was community. I was doing flips myself. I got lucky. I bought a whole lot of real estate at the middle and end of 2020, and went into 2021 with an explosive market with high-end products. So that went pretty well for me. But by the end of 2021, I realized that I needed to do something with a little bit more steady income rather than all the bursting income. And I had this thought that I'd spend my time helping other community members get their deals across the finish line using my real estate license. Now, Mike's deal, that was pretty special. My broker called me, and my managing broker, who I love, she called me and said, "Hey, can you sell my son's house on a Subto? I've been getting all these crazy Subto offers." And she didn't trust them. And with good measure, they were mostly coming from wholesalers. And so I said, sure, we'll put this deal together. And, having someone that close to you, someone you work with, work for in some regards, I'm not going to just give it to anybody who walks in the door. So I only offered it to community members who I knew. And Mike was smart enough to jump on the opportunity. And it was an amazing deal that we got him. He took over the mortgage Subto. We got a small seller financing portion at 0%. And he's got a gorgeous new home.
That's fantastic. When I want to possibly move to the desert, I'm calling you to help me find a house. That is a great story. I love that. And it's all about collaboration in this community, because that's what we do. We problem solve and we help people, and it's a great story. So I want to hear from Anthony and Becky. So tell me about your deal, how you structured it. I did a little, deep diving, and I saw that Gina was involved in your deal, and she is amazing. I just adored Gina. So let's hear how it worked for you guys.
Sure. Um, my deal is in LaPorte, Texas. It's a 2-1. It's when I threw it in the Facebook group, I classified it as the ugliest house on the block, which it is. But what I saw was a great investment opportunity for either a fix and flip or just a flip in general, because the property ask was around 75K, negotiated down to 55K for a 2-1. The rehab was about, if I wanted to do a rehab, it would be either a brand new rehab or just using the existing structure and rehabbing it. So when I came to Anthony, I actually already had a pitch deck with comps. The comps were really favorable. You can do a rehab that is in a 2-1 market. There it's about 180 to 225, or a 3-2 to 350. So my pitch deck had that, and also why he should invest with me to the Gator community. Right, I sent it to multiple people, but Anthony was the first one to hop on it. So, Anthony and I clicked right away because he could see the value in this property, because it also had two exit strategies, had a fix and flip, also rental value of 1750 in a desirable neighborhood. So what I showed him was the market analysis is why, one, the real estate market in LaPorte, Texas is favorable, like key factors: location, affordability, fix and flip, rental market, property appreciation, but also the demand of the fix and flip properties, like what factors are important, why investors would be interested, why there's a limited inventory, why it's a profitable potential growth population, and what's the renovation support. That was really key. So when I came to him, I basically gave him the condition of the house, exactly what was requiring, down to like sheetrock floor, sheetrock, interior painting. And I came down with a GC 3-bid quote to him, and I said, this is the best quote. I also gave him a Google Maps picture of like the local comps of what I just told you, plus a third exit strategy for a short-term rental of $100 a night. So I already knew who the end buyer was. We could think about 3 end buyers, but thank God I kind of learned closing school with some of the with Jeff Smith in the community. I learned a little bit of GC with Labor in Houston, who's in the community. I took Bo's class, comping, so I kind of had kind of like my tools, my tool belt. And so when I came to Anthony, this pitch deck was super tight. And so I also gave it a glimpse of like my personal criteria of like why I'm a good operator, if you will. And he circulated it with everything, and literally we closed within 2 weeks. So where we're at with that is the promise is that within 6 to 8 weeks we'd probably do a rehab. And we had to pivot a little bit because now we're probably have to do a full rehab, which what I promised him before was 10 to 20% with depreciation split for a tax benefit. But now we're doing much more than that. We're going to do a full rehab, which will increase the value to a 2-1 to 3-2, which will be a triple digit flip up to 350. And so I've already started talking to architects, planners, and throwing it out here. And while we're talking for the last 3 weeks, I think he loves my updates, because we've been doing updates every Friday, telling him I go up there. I'm 3 hours away. I go up there, talk to everybody, send him videos, send Gina, our PML, and Anthony. That was Gina's first deal. Our updates, even when we have problems, I'm like throwing it in there, telling them like, hey guys, this is what's going on. I'm going to pivot this way. So now what was like a setback of the project timing, we have another solution where I pitched it to him and said, hey, I think we're going to do this. So I'm in the middle. I've already met with the city, the whole city of LaPorte. The whole team was like 6 of us with 2 people. Took another sub-2 student who knows like how to do concept plans. And we pretty much, it was like it was like meeting with the mafia. I had to tell him like, this is what we're gonna do. What's your requirements? He's like 1, 2, and 3. Cool. Went back, got an architect, got a plan. I have a plan in place. I even like negotiated the house formation, because I've done the new land development, new construction with PM overseas. So this, I felt like this is like smaller, great low entry, low risk for a Gator, like first deal, right? Like this is not a $500,000 house with a lot of risk, right? This is a baby thing. So my long-term goal was, hey, let's work with PMLs, which I've never done. That was really my first PML. You're talking to someone whose family, like our culture is hide money on the mattress. I told Anthony this. I'm like, I've self-funded myself for like all my real estate deals. The traditional conventional loan. when I came to Anthony, I'm like, what is this PML situation like? Without Pace's community and not knowing the education, like I watched all his Zooms on that. Came to Anthony, so I was kind of prepared to like know what to expect. But Anthony really walked me through the whole Gator side because I've never seen that, and like walked me through that. And so far we're like 4 weeks in, and I really think we have a great partnership, Anthony. I don't want to like speak on my behalf, but it is literally like they're gonna make bukus of bucks at the end, possibly triple. And so my goal was, you know what? Let's do a PML so I can have a proof of concept. You too. Maybe we'll do another deal together. So, and maybe in 6 months we can laugh about like how much money we're making, and we can laugh about all the hiccups I had. Right, Anthony?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
This is great. I see you guys like, and certainly Gary, like we have two sets of dynamic duos here. Like, this is fantastic. And Becky, all the due diligence that you did and your pitch deck is amazing. And yeah, I mean, as a Gator receiving something like that would completely change my perspective on,
Kathy, I lost my first Gator. Anthony wasn't my first pick. He knows this now. We're married now in this deal, right?
I love that.
Lost the deal when we were in the morning of the closing. Anthony had the pitch deck. I called Anthony when we were closing. He got Gina on board. We were talking already, but the first Gator was much faster, right? So then the day I had to close, I called Anthony. I'm like, look, I'm in this position. Either you take her, let's talk about it. And he like took it and he like ran, a little quarterbacked it to him, and he like closed Gina. And Gina was already on board, but like we literally accelerated in a couple hours. And the beauty of that was that pitch deck, because it was so easy. We already talked about it, right? We already had the due diligence. The questions were done.
So awesome. It was the Hail Mary into the end zone, and Anthony caught it for the touchdown right there.
It was literally like Tom Brady and Gronk, and Gronk just nailed it. And the funny thing is, Gina didn't see all these like issues at the end until the very end. And the other thing is that we were competing against. The funny thing is the person that sells it is a really big fix and flipper. He has his own company. So the two partners, the agent that was working with me said, my boss wants to buy this deal if you don't buy it, Becky. I'm like, I'm totally onto something. So when I told Anthony, I'm like, look, if we don't take it, we lose. Like literally the potential is there. I know it's the ugliest house on the block, but the land value itself is more than that. So now we're building like 2 houses on that. It's going to triple flip it like easy.
Love it.
We already have the buyer at the end because the economy makes sense, like the economics of it. So now I'm just trying to make sure that we're within budget. We're going to figure out how to accelerate because we lost some time. But, every week, the best part is every week we talk. And so we know kind of like the hiccups. So Gina's not surprised. Anthony's not surprised. Anthony, will you jump in, please?
That's awesome.
I was waiting to jump in.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to just zip it.
But yeah, so, sure, I had already built a relationship with Gina, and not just Gina. When I first started Gator, Kathy, I began to reach out to different private money lenders, do Zooms with them, build relationships with them. I think that relationship is more than just the money. And I wanted to make sure that when I did bring a deal to, I call them my team PMLs, because I have a team of private money lenders that I go to. And Gina happened to be the one for this deal with Becky, but I had already built a relationship with Gina, and we had already looked at several deals together, and those deals just didn't work out. But when Becky's deal came along, that deal did work out, and Gina, she was ready to get that deal funded. But one thing I like to do as a connector, I like to stay involved in the deal from beginning to end. And I think that's important. I know it's not my money, but guess what? I feel like it's my money. If I brought the PML to the table, I want to stay in the deal. I want to make sure that everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. And the PML is paid back, and the investor, Becky in this case, is doing what she needs to get done, and the deal is being worked the proper way. And Becky's doing it. She's sending updates. We talk sometimes maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, anyway, on the deal that we're doing, on other stuff as well. But I like that. I like to build that relationship with the investor and the private money lender. And I want to do business with the same investor over and over and over and over again. And the only way to do that, in my opinion, is to have that proof of concept, yes, but also to build the relationships.
Yeah.
And if you build those solid relationships, I think that everybody is going to have a win-win-win situation. So that's kind of the story with that.
I love it. I mean, deals are not one-shot wonders. You know, they're just the deal itself maybe, but the relationships is something that you have to cultivate and just have that grow. Because ultimately, we all want to do business with people that we like, you know, and people that put in the effort and the due diligence and the boots on the ground and just make sure that everything is fluid and flows. So I love it. You guys are a great pair for sure. So Gary and Michael, what do you guys have coming up? What's next? You know, what are you guys thinking?
Well, the last 6 weeks, I've been living in the house, getting it all, you know, ready to do whatever my exit strategy is going to be, which I still haven't figured it out yet. But for now, I'm actually enjoying living in this big, beautiful house. We've got a full kitchen, you know, and I had been living in an RV for the last 2 years, just trying to save money and waiting for whatever kind of market correction we were going to have, which so far we still haven't had one. But so I figured, you know, this was the time to do it. And to be honest with you, 50% of the reason that I actually ended up doing it, even though I knew it was a great deal, was the credibility. I really wanted to establish, you know, the credibility in the community so that people know that I can close a deal. And, you know, it was a little bit of a stretch for me. I've put a lot more into the fixing. It was in good shape, but it still needed, you know, I need furniture basically. So I've been on Amazon every day for the last, 6 weeks, buying pillows and blankets and sheets, and it was a great experience. I've done it before though, because I was a Airbnb host too for about 2 years. So I know what it involves, getting a house ready for rent. I still haven't decided how I'm going to afford the payments, but we're working on that too. Gary and I are going to do some more deals together. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I love it. And well, where you live in the desert, there is a plethora of furniture stores there, you know.
Oh, and the thrift shops are all everywhere.
Amazing. The best.
Yeah, I told him he needs to go to some of the better consignment shops.
Absolutely.
Even at those, you're paying 10 cents on the dollar.
The consignment shops are way overpriced. They think everything's worth $1 million, and just because that's what the homeowner paid for 20 years ago, that doesn't mean it's worth, more than a thrift shop. And I found some of the best deals you can imagine at thrift shops. And
if you can find what you're looking for at a thrift shop, buy there first for sure.
Exactly. And it's just traveling all over. I've been, Palm Springs, Cathedral City, all over Indio, even some in Palm Desert. Mm-hmm. Palm Desert does have thrift shops. So I've been to everyone.
Meanwhile, he's talking about furniture, but he's a licensed contractor and a good one. And how valuable is that here in the desert?
And to our community as a whole. With your knowledge and your resources and your experience, is you could really make a direct impact on some people who have some questions, especially in California.
Right.
The laws and the crazy things are changing, and that you're a great resource.
Constantly, yeah.
So I'm trying to get him hooked up with a couple other students who are doing flips in the area, and so we're looking at one right now to get him involved and. Where we can all help each other, community members helping each other. So we're, hoping that I brought another community member who I've sold his recent flip. I introduced him to this other community member who just bought this house subject to. She really got a good score. But, now with Mike and this other guy, maybe we'll put together a team to get a really great profit out of the flip.
That's great.
And the key is the subcontractors. They gotta know you. When you call them, they answer their phone. And I've been through, a dozen painters and at least 100 pool guys, and so because they come and go, and
pool guys, that's a week's worth.
Every month you got to hire a new pool guy practically, just because they don't do what they're supposed to do, and And especially if you have guests, and guests really rely on having a good, experience in their pool. In fact, that's what they come for, is to hang out at the pool. At least that's, to the Palm Desert, Palm Springs area. They want to hang out by the pool. So you better get your pool in shape if you want to do that. You want to do, short-term rentals. By the way, I'm done with short-term rentals. No more short-term. It's just too much turnover. The guests, are paying. I'm going to start doing mid rentals, midterm, if I do it again. I'm so happy living here, though. I'm not really sure I want to do anything else with this house, but I would like to find another one to do the same thing and just, start doing midterm rentals, and, let it go from there and mushroom it,
I love it. And, one of the takeaways I see is all four of you guys, it's so much support within the community. You work together with different people in the community. You help Gina get her first deal. And that's, it's the collaborative effort that is just, you just have a built-in family here that you can go to and resources, which is, it's so valuable. And, Pace, what he brought to all of us is just so generous and so incredible.
And he's still bringing it. It's every day.
It's the value is like, you can't even express
the
gift and the blessing that he's bestowed upon all of us with this community. And I love to see all you guys work together and do deals together. And, we're building friendships for life at this point.
Hey, 90% of my business comes directly from the community.
Love it.
And all of the other business I do, Kathy, is no more than 1 or 2 degrees of separation from the community.
Yeah.
So I'm closing almost one Subto deal every week at this point, and it's all with community members.
It's the best. Sometimes you just can't even express or put into words how much this means. I always joke that this community to me is cheaper than therapy, because people are like, well, why did you join? I'm like, well, because
it'll pay for your therapy.
It definitely, well, that's true too. But what would you guys say to people who are watching now who have not yet joined one of the communities, whether it's Gator, Subto, or Top Tier TC, in order to just encourage them so that they can recognize the value that we all see? I wake up every day with gratitude for the value that's provided. So what would you guys say to people out
what
there?
What are you waiting for?
Yeah. And until you actually get in the community and start meeting people and watching the Zooms and listening to the wisdom of Pace, it just solidified my decision of joining. And now I look back on it, because it took me about a year before I finally pulled the trigger to join. And I like, what are you waiting for? What were you waiting for? And because you don't know until you get in and see the value.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, I'm gonna lean in to say this is life changing.
Yeah,
this is life changing. This is an incredible opportunity. Don't do it if you're not going to commit to it, but it will change your life. It will change your circle of friends. It will be an absolute revolution in your life if you do it.
Well said. Well said.
Say, jump in, do it. Go all in. Don't hold back. Just go all in. Start meeting people as soon as you can, building those relationships as soon as you can. Go through the trainings. I didn't know, Kathy, that there was that much private money out there until I joined the community.
I agree. And I didn't
that
either.
Was mind-blowing to me.
It was like the light bulb just went off. And it's not only for real estate deals, but it can be so many different capacities the private money is used for. And I didn't have any idea either.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was in commercial construction for many years, and we used to pay our guys somewhat creatively, very similar to the, example that Pace, when he was in the construction with paying his guys, we used to do the same thing. But at the time I had no idea, we just thought we were just helping these guys because they work hard and we appreciate them. But it's really was very creative at the time. So I loved it.
And the knowledge that
I think
it's almost unfathomed to see the knowledge that he has, and the way he breaks it down makes it so simple that a child can understand it. And that is why I got going. One of the reasons I got going also in Gator was because of him. The
Sure.
other two programs I bought, I just couldn't feel it. I just couldn't get going. I paid for it, but I couldn't get going with it. But Paces, I could get going with it. And it's really changed my life so far.
I love it. Becky, what about you?
I think those guys sum it up. I would say to sum it up: 1, networking opportunities; 2, knowledge sharing; 3, support and accountability. The networking opportunities, I mean, everyone's in here from real estate professionals to industry experts, investors. You can really find valuable partnerships and mentorships and investment opportunities. I mean, with Paces Community, I've branched out to Zero Down. I have a JV with someone that I might buy a business with. I mean, it's really what you can figure out. I will say it's shiny object syndrome, so you got to figure out what your niche is, right? The knowledge sharing, I cannot stress is probably the most important. We can have access to all the resources and insights and strategies, but what really helped you keep informed is about the market trends, the investments, tactics, and the regulatory changes. And so if I don't know that, I have a W-2. So if I don't know that, I can pop into the community and be like, hey, can someone help me with this? Literally, a month ago, I had no idea what the synergy planners wanted to do, and they wanted to do this call with me. Literally popped in and said, hey, how can I prepare for this? Got ready for that, and then put me over to the finish line a little bit better, right? And then 3, the support and accountability is so critical, but you have to make yourself part of the community. I mean, it can offer everything from emotional support when you're having a bad deal,
Yeah.
literally you're having a bad day. I can call somebody up. My guy Mark, he's literally my sub-2 husband. He's married. I'll call him up and be like, oh my God, this thing happened today. How do I adjust? I call Anthony too. Anthony's married. I'm like, Anthony, what do I do about this, man? Get me out of this jail. What would you do? Yep. So and the other thing is accountability. It's really neat to see having accountability. You don't have to have an accountability buddy, but definitely have buddies there that are kind of on the same level. You always want to strive for the leaders in the group who are done a million deals pace, but the accountability at your level, I think it's great because you're in it together and you're kind of holding each other accountable. And you'll evolve as professionals much better when you're socializing your wins together. You know what I mean? And then I think it helps with motivation and really being focused on your real estate goals, whatever that is, your goals. Because I think when you come in here, you can say you want to do all this, make $1 million, but it's really about how you're going to do it. How are you going to do it? You can't do it alone.
Nope.
You can't. Maybe you can. It's going to take you longer, but it's really about that. And I think when I found Pace, I literally was at another meetup. I met a sub-2 leader, and I was like, "Who's this Pace Marby dude? Pace Marby, whatever." I see him on Zooms these YouTubes all the time, and he happened to be going through Austin on one of his book tours, and I literally came up to him, and I'll never forget. I was wearing blue pants. He's like, "I like your blue pants." Oh, great. Pace, I thought you were a scam. This is how I started the conversation. I thought you were a scam, honestly. But meeting people here and meeting the leaders here, and even just the people that are doing deals, I'm convinced. And I literally was at the point where I spent so much time on education and money, and it was kind of wasted. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
no, this is the real deal.
Yeah, it's a real deal. I signed up that night. I literally signed up that night, and then ever since then, I was
in our case, that's not real long, Michael, but for these younger people,
it's making me want to live longer.
It's true.
I'm sure there are people watching this thinking that we're all paid to say all this stuff.
No, it's true.
Right, but this is the real deal, folks. Absolutely, this is an awesome community. Pace Morby is a prince among men. He is incredibly giving person, so you cannot go wrong associating with this community.
That's true. And the one thing I really loved is when I first got in, I thought I was going to do this, so many different things. And then so many people helped me to kind of filter out. And we decided what we didn't want to do, which was almost as important to deciding what we do want to do. And to have just a safe sounding board with people in this community was so helpful. They're like, what are you doing? Do this instead. Or, this is your skill set, or this is where, I'll admit my inadequacies. I have no problem with that. But it's really great to hear back from people some feedback, and in kindness, and the constructiveness was really comes at you in a really genuine, loving way, because everybody wants everybody to be better and stronger. And that's like no other community that I've ever been a part of at all. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So how do people find all of you guys? Because I'm sure there's people out there that want to track you guys down and hunt you down and do deals, learn from you. What's the best way to reach everybody? I see there's some Instagram. Do you prefer that or DM? What's the best way?
I like Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
Text me if you need help with a deal in California.
Great.
I do deal brokering. I'll help you underwrite. I am a licensed agent. We'll take your deal and from beginning all the way through close.
You know what I found is these regional Zoom meetings where there's people from all over the country and they have their region. I get on those text trails and I'm on 4 or 5 different text chains every day, helping people, getting advice from people, and meeting people, even from East Coast and Florida and the Southeast. It's great. I love it.
That's
and
great.
You know what I was going to say too is the most valuable thing that I've found so far in the learning experience is in the vault. And I cannot emphasize enough what a treasure trove of education is in that vault. And there I see stuff I never even knew was in there. And I find, all kinds of great information just by searching the vault, and you type in a word and you get 6 Zooms that just pop up, so
agreed.
That's what I would advise people is to get into that vault and just even stuff from 2020, 2021. Mm-hmm. Those Zooms are great. And that's when PACE was first, getting it started, and all the nuggets of information and wisdom are right there. You just got to listen,
you do.
On your phone. You can just do it on your phone and in the car or at the gym or wherever. I'm always on a vault Zoom. So
it's great. Well, that's great. I'm sure people will be reaching out to you guys. What about you two, Anthony, Becky? What's the best way to reach you guys?
Yep. Instagram is fine. My Instagram handler is on the screen there. So IG is fine. They can also inbox me, Facebook, Messenger. Either one of those is totally fine. I'm in Anderson, South Carolina, so I'm looking for more people in Anderson. I know it's a little small town.
That's okay.
But you guys had a little rain this week, I heard.
We did have a little bit of rain this week, so it's not raining.
That was Debbie, I think. She came knocking.
She knocking, but good so far.
Good. Glad you're safe. Next, we'll send you some floaties in the mail for the future, just like. I'm storing on emergency supplies now with our crazy earthquake weather. So I'm with you. And Becky, what's the best way for the people to find you?
Sure. You can Instagram BTA312. Great. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, Becky Talk. I'm looking for I'm great at acquisitions and finding deals. So if you want to call me only if you want double or triple digits returns that's backed by real estate.
Wow. That tag right there is going to have people reaching out to you. That's not a bad thing. I love it. That is.
Anthony has first dibs and Gina, but the rest can come.
Gina. I'm going for Gina. I'm going to call her. And
Gina is with me right now. Okay. So,
that's okay.
Just kidding. You can call Gina all you want. Tell her everything's going real well.
I will.
I have my best bodyguard right here.
That's I love it. Oh my gosh, it's great. There is, this community is just amazing. And, as we kind of look forward to the future, nobody's got a crystal ball, but, there's power in a community, and at least we can evolve and, get through what is, coming together. And there's great opportunities, and you guys are really doing fantastic things, and your ability and want and to help people that are just learning and going through it is great. We really appreciate you guys so much. Does anybody have any other any little nuggets or anything that you would share to some of the new people out there other than watching videos over and over? I still go back and rewatch, especially the new recording of the Gator stuff that Pace has done is amazing. And I think it's really important to do that. Really important.
You know, I think we've just scratched the surface on the importance of seller finance and creative, because you know, the next couple of years is going to be, you know, very shaky. So there's not going to be a lot of, you know, this morning I heard that the rates are down. That's a bunch of crap. The rates have not dropped unless the Fed lowers the discount rate or whatever they call it, Fed funds rate. Rates are not coming down right now. I don't see it, but the next couple of years, I think there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. And rates can come down, which is great, but it doesn't, if the consumer doesn't have the ability to pay the mortgage anyway, it doesn't matter. So, and that's where, you know, the Subto community can be so helpful in being solution-based and helping families who are struggling to preserve, you know, their integrity and their credit and all of the things so that they will have a chance to rebuild better, you know, in the end. But we are so solution-based, which is amazing.
We're problem solvers, right?
We are problem solvers. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Gary, what do you think? Any last minute tips, tricks, nuggets, words of wisdom?
I think of, without getting into a longer discussion, if we're just trying to sum it up again, you know, it's real simple. This is real. Just telling people nobody's paying me to say this. Join this community if you want to take it to the next level.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Anthony, it sounds like you've done 8 deals in your few months. I mean, you're on fire, my friend. You're killing it.
Just connecting with people, Kathy, from the start. Come out of the gate, I just started connecting with people because I knew the answer. Part of the answer was going to be building relationships. If I wanted to increase my real estate career, I was able to also get a personal deal from private money. And, you know, I looked at this, I was like, well, I'm helping these other investors get money, which is great. That's my avatar, is to help them get money, connector. I said, well, what about me? Maybe I could help myself. And I was able to secure a deal myself about a month ago for private money. And I just want to let everybody know that there is so much money in the Gator community. I'm sure Subto as well, but I'm in the Gator community. There's so much money in there. If the deal makes sense, if everything is vetted, underwritten properly, there's money available.
Yeah, there is. Agreed. There's a lot and so many amazing opportunities. And wow, 8 deals. And I could tell by your demeanor and your disposition that, you know, people will really, really want to work with you. There's got a very calming demeanor about you, which is wonderful. And I love, because you can tell you really care about every aspect of this deal, all the components, and that, you know, you just want to make sure everything's going properly.
Absolutely. Win, win, win.
Yeah. You're in it the whole way through, my friend.
Win, 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 baby. Gotta get it.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
He's back.
Hey, how you doing? You guys are crushing it. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Someone said something earlier, and I just wanted to chime in. Question: were all of you at Squad Up Summit this year?
No.
I didn't make it.
Gary, okay, so myself and Kathy, we were the only ones here that were at Squad Up. Let me just say this to you. Oh my God. So Pace is always marching around the office when he's here. Right now, as I speak, he's in Montana. He's having a good time. He'll be fishing tomorrow. If you want to know what Pace is doing, go to where'space.com. But anyway, Derek, you need to go and be around our community, because then you'll understand what this means to people when they're part of the community. And of course, being a social media nerd, and I take much pride in that, I'm looking at Pace saying, so what's the difference, Pace? I've worked for Dean Graciosi and these amazing men and who have great businesses and great business minds. What's so special about your community, Pace, that's gonna make me see the light, if you will? And he said, trust me, you've never seen nothing like this.
It's true.
I'm like, but Pace, give me context, man. Like, I can't. He said, just be around the community. So a few months passed, and I'm put on a plane to Orlando, and I get there in work mode to work and serve, because I love doing that. And oh my goodness, Becky, Anthony, Michael, Gary, we are planning our Squat Up Summit for next year. It was out of control. Now, mind you, yes, I'm a homeowner, but I bought it conventionally. I feel so bad about that now.
I know. I
Okay.
felt like I got duped into that.
Hey,
I feel like I got-
Jared,
Right?
Jared,
You know, what happened?
I am sure
back
that
then?
Squat Up Summit was a
Oh.
love fest and
Gary.
of unbelievable proportions. Look, last year I did community
Yeah.
camp and a mastermind.
Okay.
And I promised myself that I need to spend this whole year just focused on building the business and not get distracted, because I would want to go to every event Pace does. Sometimes I feel like, oh, he's going to be doing a meetup in Arizona. It's only a 4-hour drive. What the hey,
Let's go, right? Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
you got work to do. You can't be
work to do.
distracted.
I'm gonna tell you. Go, please, Kathy.
No,
please.
Squat Up
please.
Summit for me was literally life changing. I mean, I met people that I have been on Zooms with in the Gator Elite community when Jake was doing his calls that I had never met in person. And when we saw each other, I mean,
Crazy,
my
right?
flight was delayed. I showed up at like 2 a.m. They all waited up for me and met me in the lobby. And it was just, it was
Crazy.
life changing. And, you know, we stayed up till 4 a.m. just talking. I mean, it was, you know,
Oh my God. Okay.
nobody wanted to miss a
4
moment.
o'clock. Wow.
A moment.
Kathy. Oh my God. You guys talking about talking. Oh my God.
That was us when you saw us.
Yes. Oh my God, guys, you got to hear this. So I was working this event and I'm like beyond exhausted. I called the wife. She's like, "Why don't you go downstairs and get something to eat?" Kathy, you remember that little place that stayed open 24 hours?
Yep,
The little restaurant? Okay. So
Mhm.
check this out. I'm like, okay, let me throw my sweats on, throw my hoodie on, and go downstairs. It's about 3 a.m. I am not exaggerating. Okay. I get on the elevator. My lobby was all quiet. I'm like, great. I get on the elevator. I'm like sleepwalking. Like, oh, this is gonna be so nice. When I get to the first level and the elevator doors open, oh my God! Listen, now this is no exaggeration.
The 3-hour wait for food, right?
No, it was. Well, yeah, it was an explosion. I looked out the elevator. I'm like, are they serious? What is wrong with these people? Listen, I walked out the elevator. Kathy and the crew,
We were there.
they dressed to the nines, talking, networking. I'm like, it's 3 a.m. We gotta be up at 9 o'clock. It was unbelievable, guys.
It didn't matter.
and
Nobody
ladies.
wanted to sleep. The bar
No.
closed at like 11. So we
Oh,
were just sitting, just
Yeah.
talking and just soaking in every moment. So I
Yeah,
expect
yeah.
to see all of you guys
Yes.
at the next one.
You
Because
have to be there, guys.
I'm coming in for a hug. So
Where's it going to be, Kathy?
I think it's Derek, go ahead. I think I know.
No, go ahead.
I think it's Nashville, right?
So that's been hinted at. It's not definitive yet. Nashville sounds amazing.
Amazing.
Oh my God. But this year was Orlando. Next year, Nashville will be so fantastic. It was literally a what do you call it? A melting pot explosion, family reunion of just mad love. This literally happened to me. I'm walking, people are just grabbing me. Hey, what's your name? What do you do? I'm like, are you serious? And they don't know me from Adam. They listen. I'm talking about 2,500 people. Yeah, 2,500 people. And like Lance Riggins walks past me. I didn't know what a Lance Riggins was, right? I'm walking. Lance was like, hey, I bumped into him and his beautiful wife. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. He was like, hey, you work for Pace, right? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, what do you do? And I told him, I'm not knowing this guy's a big deal. He spoke to me for like 2.5 hours. We're just talking.
It's awesome.
And then Pace walks up, and what's the guy? Gray. Help me.
Abraham? No.
Abraham Gray. In his flip-flops, he walks over, he grabs me from the back. I don't know Abraham Gray, guys. I'm like, who's this guy grabbing me, right? And we're just like having this experience. And then in the green room, this beautiful woman named Cody Sanchez walks past. She starts having a conversation, and then this unbelievable couple who couldn't keep their hands off each other, Jerry Norton and his wife, they walk past, and they're standing there, and we're just talking. Then Vina Jetty walks over, and I'm just like sitting there like,
Starstruck.
Anthony right now.
Very starstruck.
This is crazy.
Abraham Gray is genius.
Yeah.
You
He's
have to
amazing.
get to know that guy.
He's amazing. Oh, I know him now. Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, listen, every day was like that.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Where did you guys sleep? Did you ever sleep, or did you just...
Well, I don't think they slept. I slept maybe 2 or 3 hours a day.
Jeez.
It was all over the place. Like we were in the lobby, like downstairs, Kathy, where the events were happening.
Yeah.
But if you look outside, I'm like, is that another 1,000 people?
Yeah,
outside?
in the courtyard area.
The
that
courtyard.
Yeah.
Everybody was just walking and talking to people and like wanting to do deals. And what are you doing? And I think the biggest takeaway for me, and I did give Pace an apology. I went to Pace and said, Pace, I owe you an apology. He said, what are you talking about? I said, everyone believes that they're the guy, and everyone believes that they're doing good things. But I've been around a long time, and I've never seen a community of people of all colors, all shapes and sizes, with one mental agenda, which was to help the person in front of you. Like I'm not exaggerating. It was the most crazy family reunion And if you go to a Squad Up Summit and you don't walk away with at least minimum about 500 connections, you defeated yourself. Because I walked away with like 300 connections. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. Like I had my phone out, just what was it? I had my Blink app. I'm like, okay, just Blink apping everybody, and it was on steroids. Pace walking around, it was just madness. Like, oh my god, yeah, unbelievable. Squad Up Summit, magnificent time.
Coming 2025.
Coming 2025, baby.
Eric, we're not supposed to collect people's information. When you do a post in Facebook and they get upset about certain things.
Sure.
So what do I do about this? There's at least 1,500 Subto community members in here.
Uh-huh.
At least.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Maybe more.
Wow.
You got to Squad Up something, it's going to triple.
Yeah. Everybody needs to go.
Everybody's scanning everybody's
Yeah. And what's
contact?
Cool, I've had people, I would say about 60% of the people that I was contacted or being in contact with, they've all reached out to me. We've been collaborating, talking, emailing. Yeah. I met Kimberly, one of our other hosts. I met her, just ran into her, and now we're like the best of friends. She has me doing an Ironman now. I'm like, wow, it's amazing.
Well,
I ran into her literally, I think, too, and that's how we met. I think we crashed right into each other. Amazing.
Yeah. This is what this community is like. Back in 2020, a bunch of us were trying to hold each other accountable. We started with a small group and ended up just being 3 of us. Mm-hmm. And for the last almost 4 years now, come September, we're only, very close to our 4-year anniversary.
Nice.
The 3 of us have started every day at 7 a.m. checking in with each other, holding each other accountable for almost 4 full years. 5 days a week we check in. We do deals together. One of those guys is on my real estate team now. But that's how potent this community is. 4 years, 5 days a week, and we're still doing it. We don't miss a beat.
That's beautiful, man.
Love
this
that.
is
That's
amazing.
a great story, Gary. I mean, that really is incredible.
That's durable friendship.
It is.
By the way, Gary, somebody in the chat, I'm gonna put this up here. They're kind of funny. I'm an Android guy, by the way. So someone says, how do you do that with an Android phone, getting contacts?
You know what? Not through MMS with Apple devices. Because
whatever,
Apple doesn't want us to MMS with you. But the Department of Justice is going to adjust Apple's thinking by the time that's done.
I love my Android, brother. I love my Android. And by the way, Pace,
don't get me started.
Pace is Mr. Apple, right? Yes. And so when he hired me a year ago, I walked in with my fancy flip phone that opens up, and Pace literally grabbed it. It was like he goes, "What is this?" And everyone kind of gasped their breath. And so me, I'm a bit probably overconfident sometimes, and I'm much bigger than Pace. And so I'm like, that's my phone, please. Right. And he's like, that's a phone? I'm like, yeah. And he opened it up. He was like, oh my God, we have to get you an iPhone. I said, Pace, please don't give me an iPhone, man. I'm gonna sell it. Don't do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
give it to me. I'll sell it. I hope it doesn't bother you.
Right.
You know, do you have friends with? I have lots of friends with iPhones.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
every time they walk in the house, it's like, do you have a charger? Is there a place I can plug this in?
So
Because
true.
and you know, I rarely use 30% on this
Yeah,
battery.
love Androids. Love the
Love
Androids,
it.
brother.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh, that's
So-
fantastic.
You guys crushed
Right,
it.
Pace
You guys-
automatically hates this segment. So
you know, believe it or not, Pace watches all these. Like the guy gets up at 4 a.m, he watches all of them. I'll have a text message, or well, not a text message. He doesn't text Android, but I'll have a Slack or email on. You
that's
know,
because you're a green bubble, Derek.
You seriously watches all these?
I'm Becky. Trust me, he
I just
watches
posted,
all these.
I just said how I met him and stuff. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna remember you with the blue pants, man.
Yeah.
Like,
But
And you remember.
does he watch on 1.5 or 2?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I know this. He'll watch this, and then when you're at Squat Up, he'll be looking across and be like, "Gary, hey, what's going on?" You're like, "How does this man?" Last year he watched this, and his memory is kind of.
He remembers everybody's name. Yeah.
Everybody's
Everybody.
name.
He's amazing. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
something.
He's
Something drinks holy elixir or something. I don't know, but yeah,
Hey, I have never met anyone with a higher EQ than Pace Morby. He
man is.
blows everybody away.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, when you see him, for the guys, if you ever see Pace, walk up to him and grab his arm real tight, and you'll see him kind of like flex on you. Oh my God, he loves that. And then he'll walk over to you later and be like, "Hey, you like that? You like that?" He does it.
Yeah, well, he got
Try it.
He's got new guns lately. You
the
know?
gun show.
Yeah. Oh my
Right
God.
there.
He's hilarious. Amazing person to work for, guys. So you guys didn't seem like you were nervous at all. Everyone seemed like they had ice water in their veins. Thank you guys so much for being on here.
Oh, this has been a huge amount of fun. Thanks for doing this.
Let's do it again.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Alex.
Anytime, guys. Thank you guys so much. It was a lot of fun.
Anthony,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
all.
everybody.
Thank you, Anthony,
Everyone.
Becky. Great to meet you
All right,
guys. And
everyone.
I'll see you guys in the desert when I come down for sure. I'm coming
You
for you.
better at least a coffee, Kathy.
Oh, absolutely.
I would wait a couple more weeks, though. It's still pretty hot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's not in the 120s like it was in July, but
Thank
we're
you.
yeah.